What's a sentence fragment? In this video, you're going to find out. A sentence fragment is a type of error, a mistake in English, and we want to avoid this in writing. Let's talk about sentence fragments. Sentence fragments are a type of writing error in English, and you want to avoid this. In this video, I'm going to show you what a sentence is, what a sentence fragment is, how you can tell the difference, and how you can avoid sentence fragments so that you can write better in English. We know that every sentence needs to have a capital letter at the beginning, and it ends with a punctuation mark, a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. Besides this, what makes a sentence? Every sentence in English needs a verb. A verb is the action of the sentence. Almost every sentence in English needs a subject. A subject is who or what does the action of a sentence. The only time you can have a sentence without a subject is if you have a command. Something like, sit down, come in, be quiet. In these sentences, we understand that the subject is you, like, you be quiet. So we don't need to say it. So we need a subject, we need a verb, and our sentence needs to express a complete idea. If we're missing one of those things, we have a sentence fragment. Let's look at some examples. So a lot of times I see students write something like this: was going to the store. This sentence is missing a subject. Maybe this happens because the subject, for example, she or Maria, was in the sentence before. But even though we probably know who you're talking about, you still need to include that subject in this sentence because that's the rule. In English, every sentence needs a subject, even if we probably remember who we're talking about. So something like this: went to the store, was 5 o'clock. Those are fragments. There are no subjects. With no subject, you have a fragment. Another time that students sometimes make fragments is when they forget the verb. Something like this: she, an old woman. The missing verb is be. We always need to have a verb in every sentence. Or something like this. I see this one often: we back home. Back is not a verb. We need a verb in the sentence. Maybe something like this: we went back home. We are going back home. Another type of fragment happens a lot, and it looks like this: there are many reasons why I love my country. First, the climate. This sentence, first the climate, is missing a subject and it's missing a verb. This is a fragment. This sounds more like speaking, and it's okay in speaking. But it's important to remember that the rules for speaking and writing are different. And even though it's clear, we still need to include a subject and a verb in your sentence. So instead of saying first the climate, you might say, the first reason is the climate. Finally, another type of fragment looks like this. After we go to the store. While we were talking. This type of fragment does not express a complete idea. That's the problem here. The writer ended the sentence before the idea was complete. With something like this, to make it a good sentence, we need to connect it to another idea. For example, after we went to the store, we cooked dinner. Or, while we were talking, it started to rain. Remember that these words after, while, because, these are connectors, so they need to connect two ideas. Make sure in your sentence that if you have a word like this, that it is connecting two ideas. So now you know what you need for a good sentence: a subject, a verb, and a complete idea. Let's do a little quiz. I'll show you a sentence or maybe a fragment, and you tell me if it's a good sentence or a fragment. Number 1. First, the people. This is a fragment. There is no subject or verb in this sentence. Number 2. First, the people are wonderful. Good sentence. We have a subject, the people, and we have a verb, are. Number 3. Is in the kitchen. This is a fragment. We have a verb, is, but we don't have a subject. What is in the kitchen? Or who is in the kitchen? I don't know. This is a fragment. Number 4. The microwave is in the kitchen. Good sentence. We have a subject, microwave, and we have a verb, is. Number 5. Before we go. This is a fragment. We do have a subject, we, and a verb, go, but it doesn't express a complete idea. Before we go, what? So it's a sentence fragment. Number 6. Before we go, there's something I have to do. This is a good sentence. We have a complete idea. Subject, verb, and complete idea. That's what you need to make sure that you have a good sentence and not a sentence fragment.